Okay, I'm ready to, I think, um, post regarding this experiment. Okay, a while back I posted making these beautiful snippet rolls. Not done with this one yet, but I used packing tape, a nice kind of wide. It's probably about 3.5 inches, maybe 4 inches, probably wide packing tape. And what I do, of course, is open it up, lay it on something. It's very, very sticky, and then start sticking stuff to it so it saves glue. Of course, you do have to glue the bits that end up being overlapping. Yeah, overlapping. Okay, so then last night, just before I went to bed, kept me awake a little bit. I thought, well, what about using, okay, where did I do with that stuff? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I wondered, sometimes I like a nice light, clear, and I even thought about using lace, which I have not tried yet, but I'm going to try putting lace on this tape. So using the same concept, except using clear packing tape. Now I've asked my husband on his shopping trips to see if he could find it in a wider version, because it would be quite useful. So this morning I couldn't wait to get up and try it. And of course I ran into a couple of problems, but I think I have them resolved. Anyway, here's the first piece I did. As you can see, the shiny side of the paper, and I really like it overlapping. I mean, hanging off the edge. If I wanted a straight edge, I would just wrap this around like so. But you can see the kind of things I use. I have, this is deli wrap that I have used rubber stamps on, paper, and various other things to include die cuts and coffee dyed deli wrap paper. It's just leftover bits hanging around, and against some stamped items. So I did it really quickly, and I love the way it looks because it's just so delicate. And I could see myself using these for pockets, you know, where I can slip stuff inside, and you could actually see a little bit of what's in there, at least in some respects you can. So let me get a little closer. Yeah. So that's the idea. See how translucent it is, unlike the snippet roll, which is very, very opaque and brown. So this could be work in a journal where you're using, you know, monochromatic whites and various versions of white or black and white. So I really do like that. Now, the other advantage it has is as you're putting anything in, this slippery surface makes it kind of easy to get things in and out. The dilemma that I was faced with is, how do you get it glued? And this was my first experiment this morning. I thought I could use, sorry for bumping into the camera, 3-in-1 beacon glue. And I let it sit for a while. It was this same piece of paper that I'm talking about right here that I had glued, you know, to the back. And I tried to keep the glue on the slippery surface here and going across and up. But as you can see, after a bit, it transferred the glue to this copy paper and it came off. Now this one here, I used 1/8 inch, I guess this is called score tape. I don't know. I guess there are different brands, but I've had this laying around for a while. And this seemed to work. So I put the score tape on the shiny side, and as you can see, it just makes a more interesting pocket because it doesn't obscure what you're putting in there. This, by the way, is cut from a magnolia leaf. I have a punch. I need to trim that little bit off, maybe. I'm going to use it. But look at the pretty background. I digress here, I know. But anyway, this was cut from the millions of magnolia leaves that I have in the garden. that I try to keep picking up all the time. Anyway, it's actually quite a pretty little piece. So anyway, it can be done. I want wider, and I love the translucency of it. It's lightweight, thin, of course, and you can leave the bits hanging over. And if you have any of this tape, it seems to do the job. Maybe other pieces of tape would as well, or other glues. But I did try this one being the most, useful glue for such things, but it did not work, as you can see. It just transferred itself, the glue, to the paper. So I think this has great potential in our journey to keep things lightweight, to add translucency to our projects, and to clean up scraps. That's what these were, scraps. And you do have to use glue, like when you overlap. Let's see, I did glue these. When this piece went down first, this piece went down second, and where it overlapped, I did have to flip it this way and add a little bit of glue. I like the Barely Art glue, I think it's called. And so I run my fingers across. Oh, and then the most important thing is, how do you deal with this issue of the open sticky areas? And that's where my little dish of talcum powder comes in handy. I just dip my finger in there, and anything that I feel like on the edge here had some sticky bits, you just rub it in there. Now, and then that makes this completely unsticky. And then use your tape to adhere it to projects. All right, so this is my fun thing of this morning.